Everyone, welcome to MPA 208 Human Resource Management in Public Sector with Professor Dr. Marmelo V. Abante, Dean of World City Colleges. And our topic for today is current issues and trends in HRM. We have three reporters today. Affirmative action will be discussed by me. Cultural and age diversity will be discussed by Vignette D. Navasero and also the gender sensitivity. And then the workplace violence will be discussed by Heidi Joy Cavilda. And the last topic, I will discuss the alternative work arrangements. Okay, for affirmative action, um, what is affirmative action? Affirmative action is a program of positive actions undertaken with conviction and effort to overcome the present effects of past practices, policies of barriers to equal employment opportunity and to achieve the full and fair participation of women, minorities, and individuals with disabilities found to be underutilized in the workforce based on availability. And then the purpose of affirmative action is to establish fair access to employment opportunities, to create a workforce that is an accurate reflection of the demographics of the qualified available workforce in the relevant job market. Affirmative action policies and programs are tools whereby additional efforts are made to recruit, hire, and promote qualified women, minorities, and individuals with disabilities. And then we have Republic Act 9710, an act providing for the Magna Carta of Women. It is a comprehensive women's human rights law that seeks to eliminate discrimination against women by recognizing, protecting, fulfilling, and promoting the rights of Filipino women, especially those in the marginalized sectors in the society. So the marginalized sectors are the following: urban poor, children, senior citizens, more Islamic faith, persons with disabilities, indigenous people, women, solo parents, migrant workers. And I'll be discussing the salient features of the law, participation and representation. It is the increasing number of women in third level positions in government to achieve a 50 gender balance within the next 5 years, while the composition of women in all levels of development planning and program implementation will be at least 40%. So in the Philippines, we don't have problem with that. And then leave benefits of 2 months with full pay based on gross monthly compensation for women employees who undergo surgery caused by gynecological disorders, provided that they have rendered continuous aggregate employment service of at least 6 months for the last 12 months. And there was also a CSC and DOLE and CSC issuances on the implementing rules and regulations of Republic Act number 1120, an act increasing the maternity leave period to 105 days for female workers with an option to extend for an additional 30 days without pay, and granting an additional 15 days for the solo mothers and for other purposes. And then women in sports, the state shall develop, establish, and strengthen programs for the participation of women and girl children in competitive and non-competitive sports as a means to achieve excellent, promote physical and social well-being, eliminate gender role stereotyping, and provide equal access to the full benefits of development for all persons, regardless of sex, gender, identity, and other similar factors. And women in the military, non-discrimination is in employment in the field of military, police, and other similar services that include affording the same promotional privileges and opportunities as their male counterpart, including pay increases, additional benefits, and awards based on competency and quality of performance. And then provision for equal access and elimination of discrimination in education, scholarships and training, thus expulsion, non-readmission, prohibiting enrollment and other related discrimination of women, students, and faculty due to pregnancy out of marriage shall be outlawed. And then recognition and preservation of cultural identity and integrity. The state shall recognize and respect the rights of Moro and indigenous women to practice, promote, protect, and preserve their own culture, traditions, and institutions, and to consider these rights in the formulation and implementation of national policies and programs. To this end, the state shall adopt measures in consultation with the sectors concerned to protect their rights to their indigenous knowledge, systems and practices, traditional livelihood, and other manifestation of their cultures and ways of life, provided that these cultural systems and practices are not discriminatory to women. So in tests that we are monitoring also the training provided to indigenous peoples, we have focal who is monitoring for that, and it's included in the assignment of my office, which is the communities and local government unit services. And then non-discriminatory and non-derogatory portrayal of women in media and film. Non-discriminatory and non-derogatory portrayal of women in media and film to raise the consciousness of the general public in recognizing the dignity of women and the role and contribution of women in family, community, and social through the strategic use of mass media. So we have a lot of women announcer or women involved in media nowadays. And then women in especially difficult circumstances. For purposes of this act, women in especially difficult circumstances shall refer to victims and survivors of sexual and physical abuse, illegal recruitment, prostitution, trafficking, armed conflict, women in detention, victims and survivors of rape and incest, and such other related circumstances which have incapacitated them functionally, and then local government units are therefore mandated to deliver the necessary services and interventions to WEDC under their respective jurisdiction. And before I was involved in the meetings with Bureau of Immigration, so those person involved in the trafficking is requested or being assisted by different national agencies like TESDA to provide them training and livelihood opportunities so that they have other options and they will be capacitated or they will be given skills for them to have their to work again. And then women affected by disasters, calamities, and other crisis situations. So protection, security in times of disaster, calamities, and other crisis situations. So our women are very much involved in different activities, and especially benefits for women. A woman employee having rendered continuous aggregate employment service of at least 6 months for the last 12 months shall be entitled to a specially benefit of 2 months with full pay based on her gross monthly compensation following surgery caused by gynecological disorders. And last March, we every March pala we are celebrating the Women's Month. And so last March, we make change work for women who nalaban sa pandemya. Kaya. And the empowered woman is powerful beyond measures and beautiful beyond descriptions. So with that, I'd like to thank everyone for listening to my presentation. And
Sir, yes, I will be continuing the topic on the HR trends. Can you